I'm Raghav.
I'm Navya.
I'm Tara.
And I'm Disha. Today we'll be discussing the scientific revolution. Let's go back 2,000 years from now. For centuries, science was based on the Aristotelian Ptolemaic model, especially the geocentric theory.
This was the idea that the Earth was the center of the universe and everything else revolves around it. The geocentric theory soon became the most prominent idea about the universe, and it was taken up by the Catholic Church as well.
However, these ideas began to be challenged, originally by Copernicus, but later by other astronomers as well, such as Kepler and Galileo. After struggling for many decades, the heliocentric theory was finally recognized, the idea that the sun was at the center rather than the Earth.
Now let's take it to Disha and Tara to tell us more about the scientific revolution.
During this time, a lot of women began to gain new opportunities, and they were encouraged to read classical and Christian texts. The first of these women was Margaret Cavendish, who came from an aristocratic background and wrote various works on scientific matters. Despite her contributions, Cavendish was rejected by the Royal Society, a British scientific society, because she was a woman.
Another important female was Maria Winkelmann, a German astronomer who received her education from her father and her uncle. After marrying the foremost astronomer in Germany, she became his assistant in an observatory in Berlin by the Academy of Science. However, despite her qualifications, Winkelmann was denied the post of assistant astronomer at the Berlin Academy, once again because of her gender.
Wasn't it sad that both of these highly successful scientists were denied of these prestigious opportunities just because they're a woman? Anyways, the scientific revolution also caused an increase in ideas of rationalism and the scientific method. But what are these?
Good question. Rationalism is the idea that things should only be accepted if reason said that they were true, and this was brought around by the French philosopher by the name of René Descartes. In addition to rationalism, empiricism was also a significant idea during this time. Empiricism is essentially the idea that people should rely on experimentation and observation to come to conclusions. This tied into the scientific method, which is the proper way of making sure things of results of science were completely true and correct.
Thanks, Disha and Tara. As you said, rationalism and the scientific method were growing in prominence, and this influenced how people saw the world. People use the scientific method to this day, and it's even used in our science classes. In fact, it was created by Francis Bacon and is vital to the evolution of modern science. This impacted scientists for centuries, and domination of nature became a central proposition of modern science. Rather than having everything tied to Christianity and religion, thinking was more secular now, meaning that it was not based on religion.
That's right, and this resulted in an increase in conflict between the scientists and church. William Harvey was also a key player in the scientific revolution, as he challenged ancient Greeks' contentions about the functions of the human body. He found that the heart was the origin of blood circulation, blood flows in veins and arteries, and blood makes a complete circuit throughout the body. This theory laid foundations for modern physiology.
In addition, Andreas Vesalius introduced new anatomy of the 16th century, where he wrote on the fabric of the human body based off of the dissection. He was able to create detailed illustrations of the organs and the structure of the human body better than ever before.
Overall, the scientific revolution impacted Europe by greatly encouraging self-thought,
Secular thought,
Challenging authority,
and giving women an opportunity to enter the male-dominated field of academics.
This video was brought to you by Crash Course.
This video was brought to you by Raghav
Navya, Tara,
and Disha.
hope you enjoyed this video.